On Saturday morning, over 40 persons tuned into a teleconference call via Microsoft Teams to participate in this virtual annual general meeting. The new BTL board, appointed by the recently elected Briceño administration, had to account to the shareholders who are watching their investments in uncertain times.
I'm sure you can all understand. It was quite an undertaking, trust me, to do all the things that we needed to do to get here today and to be able to communicate with you.
In his first AGM as chairman, Lizarraga quickly cut to the chase about the state of affairs that he and the new management met when they got into office and the challenges they must tackle head-on to improve this national utility company's profitability.
Scrutiny of the financials revealed that in addition to an outstanding liability of 19 million in unpaid dividends to the government of Belize, there were unrealistic expense provisioning for bad debts. This inadequacy contributed to an overly aggressive and unrealistic portrayal of profits over the periods 2018-2019 and 2019-2020. Returns on equity over the past few years were dismal and continued falling, and reports were heavily focused on growing EBITDA. This is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. And these reports did not focus on an unsustainable growth in expenses, which resulted in declining trend in profits over the years.
The CEO presented a more detailed assessment in his review of the company's financial past, dating back to the last 10 years before. He started by discussing investments in network upgrades, such as the 4G LTE mobile network and the fiber to the home internet service. And for all these upgrades, the company has a hefty amount of debt to pay back.
These investments will have required large cash requirements. They have depleted cash reserves, whilst increasing the long-term portfolio and requiring the use of overdraft facilities. And that is shown here, whereby we have increased, and you see the black line again showing an increase from left to right on your screen. And this has been, in terms of increase in long-term liabilities, to finance, one, the $50 million 4G LTE advanced network, the $96 million fiber to the home network, which is called DigiNet or Digitel. We've invested $22 million on the convergent billing project, and we invested $18 million on the subsea fiber cable to San Pedro, amongst other projects.
From BTL's internal assessment, its revenue growth isn't matching the increase in debt servicing costs.
When you invest in infrastructure, the goal of it is for us to be able to increase the revenues. And what does this show? Well, what the current graph shows is that whilst there has been significant growth in the network infrastructure, the growth in revenues year on year has fluctuated and in some years been negative. And that can be seen from 2015 to 2019, where you see a steep decline in the overall growth of gross revenues. Well, the decrease in prices on services due to significant competition from the other mobile provider, we have internet service providers and cable operators, has created a race to the bottom on prices, which, whilst it has benefited consumers, has impacted the revenue growth overall of BTL. Expenses have outpaced the growth in revenues over the past 10 years. And as you can see the trend line, it shows that it has had a negative or an adverse effect on the overall profitability of the company. So this decrease in net profitability, again, is due to the fact that the expenses have been greater than the growth in revenues. Despite the decrease in net profitability, though, the company continued during all those years to declare annual dividends greater than the minimum required of 45% of net income, and in some cases as high as 67%.
Despite these challenges, this new BTL management team thinks that they have ideas to turn this resilient company around. These are a few of the ideas they pitched to the shareholders.
We have put a bubble chart, and these are new initiatives. These are new revenue opportunities, examples of these and other cost optimization that can be done and will be done. And what we have placed it is the size of the bubble means the impact, the positive impact to overall achievement of what we have. Small business, we believe that presently, because of COVID-19, there is a large market to digitize. We know everything for the most part now has been ramped up. We know that the COVID-19 will not go away anytime soon. We know that this year we will be under the same, when I say this year, I mean this new fiscal year, this new calendar year will be under continued pressure as we can expect. So small businesses will have to ramp up in terms of digitization, what they need to offer. And we believe that we're well poised with our suite of services and new services that we need to bring in to be able to offer. E-commerce is something big as well for us. DigiHome, we will begin offering services that go into the home as well. And lastly, I think one of the most exciting ones is the DigiWallet, a mobile financial services platform that we will be offering that will allow us to be able to use our cell phones as your new wallet.
We know the road ahead will not be easy, and we are now operating in a considerable different environment with additional economic headwinds that did not exist last year. Despite these circumstances, we remain optimistic about BTL's future. BTL has been and is a resilient company with a stronghold in Belize's marketplace.
Reporting for 7 News, Daniel Ortiz.